Shalom and good day all, this is the Healing29 back again for another DC comic review, and in this DC comic review we have one of the returns of the Super Sons, and it's really nice to see Damian Wayne eventually start to return to his old man, and I'd really like to see it continue in DC Comics because these two really need some genuine time together. And I mean genuine time together. Let's try about 50 issues, maybe even 100, before even thinking of trying to fix up Tim Drake. How about fixing up things between Damian and Bruce first, considering it is his own biological son, and the shit that happened under Tom King. Well, better jump into the first things first, and that is the covers. And I must admit, I really do like these covers that have been put out. I still prefer Damian Wayne's rebirth costume compared to this one, and it would be nice to see him return to it. But I'll give the artist this, at least the artist did listen to the audience. I even brought up myself to one of the artists that I'd like to see more of sort of like the rebirth costume integrated to the present one, and they did that. And a big thank you to the artist in doing that. So, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of the story? Sure enough they do. So starting off with cover 1, which is on the left hand side on the bottom, I gave a 9 out of 10. For cover 2, I gave a 9 out of 10, and this one has got to be my favorite. It got a 10 out of 10. So now it's time to jump into the internal art, as well as seeing some of the things that happen in relation to the story. I'll quickly fix things up, so you'll be able to see some of the internal art around the beginning, middle, and end, and I'll be using one of the variants to show the art. And as things start, up around the beginning of the story, we have Ra's al Ghul, as you can see there in the background. Some were alerted to some fighting, and as he goes out to sea, he notices the fighting is actually between Damian and his mother. Of course, it's very interesting to see that they are trying to somewhat repair this relationship between Damian and Talia. Considering when you look at some of the things with Talia beforehand, she has also treated Damian in her own way as a bit of a weapon, and it's nice to see her finally acknowledge Damian, not just as a weapon, but starting to see him more as her own son. I'll now jump towards the middle. Now, this takes place after the death of, or the believed supposed death of Ra's al Ghul. And Batman had to make a call whether he let the bomb explode and he loses Damian and he saves Ra's, or he saves Damian and leaves Ra's to die. And in it, his choice was Damian. It's his only living offspring. And last but not least, towards the end of this story, and as you can see, we've got Deathstroke along with Respawn, who, if you've been watching the channel as well as reading through the comics, we learned that Respawn is basically a clone looks like Damien's in appearance, but in essence he also has some DNA in connection to Slade Wilson. And of course, a war has also been declared against Deathstroke. And this is the last page. So for the internal art, I gave it an 8.5. Now let's move into the story rating. Now, does this story have any comic references? As you can see, it actually did. And I managed to cover some even in this video. Of course, we had a reference to the present run of Robin, and also Batman, and also a connection to the present run on Batman, to which there was a Batman issue reference 122, or was it 112? One of those. Moving into the next area of time, we got no indication of time, though I really think it could have worked with this story. Just to sort of like give indications of when or what time certain actions were happening, and that would work really good for, say, example, Batman doing detective work, including Damien's own detective work. Moving into the area of locations, we have the location of Nepal, Gotham, Markovia, Markovia Embassy, and Zandia, to where Deathstroke is. The cast of characters consisting of Ra's al Ghul, Talia, Damian Wayne. We still get to see Mother Soul in this. Batman, Bruce Wayne, Oracle. We also get the name of someone called Brian McKay, I believe it is, and a Director Chase. And I'm wondering if they actually are playing a part in what's happening here too. Just to see those names brought up definitely have you suspicious in regards to those characters. The other characters we encounter were, of course, Prometheus, Deathstroke, and last but not least, Respawn. The overall story rating that I gave this, because it included these things, was a 7.5 out of 10. I look forward to where the next issue is taking this. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.